No, you can yeah. You
Okay.
introduce her,
Sure, sure, sure.
and
So,
I'll have a closing remark.
yeah, good
Over to you,
afternoon,
Vinod.
everyone, and welcome and big thank you, Doctor, for joining us today. And I don't want to spend too much time. I have been seeing your introduction. I think it will run longer than your session. So I'm trying to keep it short and share the more details later on with people. So, friends, Dr. Vandana Shah is a leadership coach and a mentor. She's a certified talent analyst as well as a professionally certified coach from the Indian Coaching Federation. She's a doctorate from National American University in ontological coaching and mentoring. She's also the founder of ARIA, which is involved in coaching, mentoring, as well as in business strategy. I've also seen that she has got a lot of prestigious awards, both nationally and globally, for coaching and for leadership and for being the best women leader. So it is indeed a privilege to have you with us, Dr. Vandana, and over to you.
Thank you so much. Those kind words and the introduction. Good evening, everybody. I hope all are doing pretty well today and enjoying the rains. As I see, Rajasthan is enjoying the rains at the moment. So do Mumbai and Maharashtra and so many different parts of the country. Delhi is pouring heavily. I see somebody from Delhi as well, and heavy rains in Delhi, I guess. So, let's enjoy the rains and this session because it's definitely going to pour a lot of uh, thinking of why I did not do it so far and what I really need to do here on. So, pouring off those thoughts and creating triggers like rain in your brain. So, shall we begin? Yeah, so let's go to the next. Here we have the webinar protocols. Please follow the name convention, first name, last name. When you're speaking for the first time, please do introduce yourself. It will help me and others to get to know who's speaking. Mute your mic during the session. Keep your phones away because it's only 60 minutes of this today's time, which is the time of your life. Probably it will be something that you haven't heard of, you haven't thought of in your lifetime, and this is the opportunity for you. So I'm sure you would want to make the maximum out of it. Raise your hand in the chat box if you want to ask any questions during the session. And we'll have a lot of interactive conversations. So please unmute yourself when you want to answer any questions that I am asking, and we can continue the conversation here on. I hope this is all clear. Um, so this is a little bit about myself. Mr. Vinod has already introduced and he's mentioned a lot about me. I have done coaching services and leadership work in more than 15 countries in last 24 years that I'm working in the professional space. I've done my doctorate in ontological coaching and mentoring from USA. I'm an ICF, PCC certified licensed coach and amongst the first 50 licensed coaches in Asia when people didn't know what coaching is, professional coaching. That's the time I entered in this greenfield industry. In my corporate stint, 13 years in corporate, uh, in HR space, I was heading HR for Etisalat DB Telecom, the company that had 2G scam. And so that will resonate. So I'm just giving that as a reference. And my last job was, I was India HR head for Jack and Jones Vero Moda Only Pieces. The brand name is under the umbrella of bestseller retail today also. So the same organization and some of the accreditation and awards and recognitions that I've received. So this is a little bit about myself. I also used to write for American government, DNA Money. I do give a lot of political reviews in newspapers when the leadership regime change that happens, which sometimes it happened for BJP with Jyotiraditya Scindia or Mithun, or you can find a lot of it and you can read that on the internet. It's readily available. So that's a little bit about myself. So today we are going to talk about succession planning. Who after me? So, what are we going to really discuss today? It's going to be the cost of unspoken succession, why we avoid it, the hidden cost with delay, what is succession really? So, we need to clarify the myth. People understand succession as a retirement, what it really means. So let's clarify those myths and the foundation of succession planning and how to go about it, the framework. So this is something we will try and cover as much as possible. And we will be able to cover this in 60 minutes only when I have the best participation from your side, because it's mutual. When I give you 10 seconds to answer the questions, please go by the timeline and do answer those questions, and let's make it a little quick and more interactive and engaging. And let's start. So here, the cost of unspoken succession. Anybody resonates with this image? You can speak in the chat box. Let me open the chat box here. Yeah. So, if you find anytime I'm asking any questions, you can quickly go ahead and type those. When I ask to unmute and speak, please go ahead and unmute and speak. So this is how we will.
But everybody is able to see the image.
Yes, it's visible.
Visible? Yeah. Okay.
So anybody is able to, yes, absolutely. Bingo, Ayodhya. So Kailash, you were spot on. This is the history that I would like to bring on. So we begin with a story of King Shantanu. He was the king for Hastinapur. We all know Kurukshetra war that happened. We all have read Mahabharata. And as children, we have seen those series on the television at 9 a.m. Main Samay Ho. So, that's our childhood fond memories. But there are so many stories in these series. One of them was about Hastinapur. King Shantanu, interestingly, was the one of the best kings of his times. He was wise, he was noble, and as we know, he had a son, Devabrata. Now, very loyal to his wife, everything was going just perfect. And Devabrata, the entire kingdom knew that he will be the next successor. He was such a brave, intelligent, and deeply loyal son and the young warrior. So everybody believed that he's going to be the next king. However, time is not the same all the time. So one day Shantanu is on a trip and he falls in love with a fisherwoman. And her name was Satyavati. And he asked her to marry him. So when the marriage proposal comes, she is in a mental dilemma that he is a king, he already has a son. What happens to me and my kids and my future generations? So how do I protect my son and his future? So she puts a condition that, my son will be the only one who will become the next king for Hastinapur, and he will be the successor. So now King Shantanu is in a fix. He is between, the legacy and the love. And he's in such a big dilemma. What should I do emotionally? And what should I do ethically? But then when it comes to the ears of his son Devabrata, he just decides that I need to look after my father's needs as a good son. And he decides that I take a vow, I will never get married. And, I just give up to claim the throne. So when I don't marry, I don't have kids. And this is how I protect the future insecurity that his to be mother Satyavati has. And this is how the next successor uh, gets in. However, like I said, time is not the same always. And suddenly one day, the son dies and kingdom is completely moved. Now, what happened here is the entire situation is unplanned, cluttered, and there is a decade of instability. There is war, there is bloodshed, there is everything that we can think of in such a situation, because succession was never ever formally declared or it was clarified. It was just a myth and it was assumed and understood by people. And this is what happens when, every great dynasty also crumbles when there is no succession that is declared, and it is left to assumptions and, emotions which are playing over it, and the delay that takes over. So this is what we learn from the story, was it can't be assumed. We need to have it vocal, how important succession is. Next, so what is the cost of this unspoken succession? I would like to one person uh, raise their voice, unmute yourself, and please tell me, just like Shantanu, King Shantanu, have you ever avoided formalizing succession because of an emotional dilemma? If you feel you want to just start typing in the chat, please answer your questions in the chat box. How your situation has been? Are you avoiding it? Too early to plan, okay? There is never too early or too late to plan because life is so uncertain. Not yet. Manoj says not yet. Who else? Quickly, let's give 10 seconds and be a little quick. Anybody else would like to answer? Okay, so let's move next. Rishi, not yet. Okay. Is this the emotions that are stopping you from making this decision, or not really thought it's so important aspect in my life at the moment? No need to answer, but not fallen in love with Kishfisher woman yet. Wonderful. At least fell in love with some women. Cool. So let's move forward. The cost of unspoken succession. The next question. Do you feel your business is ready to run without you starting tomorrow? Let's answer this question. Maybe in the chat box. No? Anybody? Do you feel your business is ready to run without you starting tomorrow? Think about it. Tushar says no. Anybody else? Yes, no. I don't know. I'm uncertain, unclear, not really thought till now. Any answers? Yes, there will be hiccups, but it can take off. In process to reach that stage. Interesting. Just about 2 weeks ago, my mother met with an accident, and we always thought that everything will be so easy and things are going just smooth in life. Everything is well taken care. I can function my business so very well just because I have somebody to support me to look after the back end house chores and running the house in other situations. And she was hospitalized for 5 days, and things went very critical, and she's bedridden now. Do you think, with that mindset and mentality, can we really have this thought process that my business can really run without me starting tomorrow? Times are so uncertain. Anything can happen anytime. Yeah. So the next question. Again, please answer this question in the chat box. Have you ever had a leadership vacuum in your company? Let it be temporary, but you had a vacuum, yes or no? Do you think that vacuum was a problem? Yes, yes, no, no. Interesting. Anybody else? No vacuum. So leadership is well in place. Somebody could, for Rishi, somebody could really take over in your absence. Let's go to the next slide. I would want now somebody to unmute and answer this question. We'll take two people talking this. We'll allow two people to speak. So whoever goes first. Why we avoid it? Why do we avoid this succession planning? And what is the silent risk behind this? What do you think? What's your situation now and what do you really think? Who would like to go first? Please unmute yourself.
Fear is the first.
Yourself.
This is Ramesh.
Okay. Hi, Vimish.
Yeah. So fear is the most important thing
Mm-hmm.
where you are really not wanting. Many times you are not wanting it to go out of.
ऐसी जर्नी पीडीएफ से कभी अलग-अलग या
Please, everybody, unmute yourself when one person is speaking. Let's respect the speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Vimish, go on.
Fear is the primary reason for all these things. First, what I feel that.
Fear. Fear of what?
Fear of not giving it to others and thinking that you are the supremo. So that is the reason why you are not also wanting to get a new leadership or anybody superior to you, though you know that there is a vacuum and you are not wanting them to come because of you only. It's not because you cannot do it.
Okay, interesting. Who else would like to go next? Please unmute yourself and speak.
So I think today the challenge which is being faced by I think most of us is the Gen Z and the next generation which is not wanting to get into your business for some or the other reason, and also you don't see a capable person or the second in line in your organization whom you can trust to be taking over after you.
Trust. Okay. Okay. One more person. NK Mehta, he says sometimes, like politicians, we don't want to give chair and we don't like to talk about succession. There is a hesitation, and just like we hesitate to talk about life insurance openly. Wow, that's so interesting, isn't it? I want it, but I really cannot. Who else would go next? One more person? Nobody? It's a fear. How do I speak openly like an insurance? Okay, so let's move. The next one. Interestingly, what I heard is fear. Sorry, yes, somebody. Okay. Interestingly, what I heard from Vimesh was fear. There are fears which are known and unknown to us. Uh, we don't have next generation that Kailash says who would want to come into the business or be the successor for the business, and we don't trust the second in line or our leadership in the organization to give away or give them that power position or hand over the business. Still, anybody would want to speak? 10 seconds. Okay, so we move next. Now, what is the truth? Let's see the truth. Answer this question before we understand what we really go through and what really stops us. What's holding you back from declaring your successor? Fear of conflict, lack of readiness, waiting for the right time. So
Waiting for the right time.
Waiting for the right time. Okay, interesting. Anybody else?
Yes, waiting for the right time.
Mm-hmm.
I think those who have to succeed, they need to be ready. So sometimes you don't see that they are fully ready with that skill set.
Okay. Interesting. We'll touch upon this as we progress. Thank you so much for sharing and opening up, building that trust in this environment. Nobody's going to judge you. Please speak, voice your thoughts. Today's an opportunity. Probably your 100, 200, 500,000 crore company, you will be able to give it some shape and future. Who after me, and will I leave a legacy, or my name, my really my brainchild that I have built from scratch, and this organization, will it have a future after me or not? Will I be able to see it thrive from the heavens above? So please open up and start talking, because this is your time. Don't wait for the right time. Okay. These are the 5 reasons business owners avoid succession because of fear, as Vimesh nailed it. First, most important issue. We really fear about talking regarding succession planning. We fear of not giving because there is an ego. Now, it is not fear, but it is an ego where I don't want to give my business to somebody else. The way I shaped it, the way I nurtured it, the way I am handling it, will somebody else be able to do it the same way or not? So, there is a huge ego that is coming into action, becoming a bigger roadblock than we even can imagine, and this is invisible. We think it is fear, but it is larger than fear. It is an ego. And what is ego? Ego is nothing but underlining fear, which we don't know what kind of fear they are. Fears are hundreds of types of fears are there. Which type of fear we really don't know, but it is underlining the ego. Lack of time. I don't have time at the moment because my business needs my time and attention. All this can take a backseat. This will happen in future. I'm just 40, 50, 55, 60 x age, and I still have a lot of time to plan about it, to look into it. So my time is pressing for the business and not for creating this future for my company, giving it a life after I'm gone. So there is trust issue, as rightly mentioned. We don't trust the next generation. We don't trust whether the next generation or the successor is ready. We don't trust whether they will be capable and competent to take over this power and this position or not. And then there is emotional intelligence, which is I really start looking at things with a lot of emotions, and I avoid situations and things because of my emotions. So emotional intelligence plays a bigger role than we can visualize it in real life. So that's the 5 reasons. Anybody would like to add to this? Shall we progress?
The fifth one, the emotional intelligence is also a very much key factor. And with emotional intelligence, also with the emotional attachment, that you keep on thinking on that factor, which does not allow you to depart, and you are not able to do the succession. That is
Right.
also one more key thing which I feel. You can go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. So what is the risk of avoidance? What happens when we avoid such situations? Anybody can think, what will happen when I start avoiding this? Anybody?
Well, sooner or later, it will, you will face a situation. It may happen suddenly. And then if you have not prepared the organization with a clear succession plan, the organization is in trouble, because suddenly if the owner is not available for whatever reason, then since you have not clearly defined who does what next,
Right.
and the organization can risk a collapse as well. So definitely it's not something to be avoided in my view.
Absolutely. So anybody else would like to add to this?
I think stakes are big. Uncertainties are inevitable, as we have seen in the recent crash which has happened. So many organizations, so many would have actually suffered. There's a total uncertainty about your customers that you build up. So it will create a lot of uncertainty and insecurity, of course, to the employees as well.
Absolutely. Bang on. So I'm going to give you a couple of stories here. I hope you'll enjoy listening to stories. Uh, So there was this 1,000+ crore company in India, and it was a family-owned manufacturing setup, and uh, they had a very, very strong operations. Business was pretty strong, and they had over 4 decades of goodwill. So it was generation after the generation. The goodwill was well carried forward. And it was it was founded by a very charismatic leader, and he was the first generation entrepreneur in their family. But things are uncertain, as we discussed, right? So he also thought, I'll wait for the right moment. This is not the time for me. And we'll talk about succession when the right time comes. So he kept focusing on the business, he kept growing the business. Priorities were really different. And he had 2 sons. One of them was taking care of operations and he was very strong at it. But the other son was a little passive. The succession is not yet formalized. 2 sons, they will take care of it. This is what the father had in his head. So there was no structure, there was no leadership charter that was planned, and there is no transition roadmap that is planned. Succession just doesn't happen overnight. It needs time, as somebody rightly mentioned, that they need to be ready. So you need to create a roadmap and a plan to have somebody to be ready to take over and be on that seat, and give that person also enough opportunity and time to prepare and prove the readiness. Here, suddenly one day the founder dies. He got a cardiac arrest and he's gone. And the storm begins. So what happens? There is confusion in the entire system, roles. People did not know what to do, what not to do. Vendors did not know who to contact. So even the outsiders are completely confused and in a dilemma. Clients are getting nervous. The employees were getting poached by the competitors, because here it is a successful organization and organizations run by people. And definitely these people who were running the organization, the team, the workforce was surely highly talented. So they had the opportunities outside. The competition started poaching them. People started, these employees were seeing instability, so they started moving out. And these two brothers could not align on one page, because one is passive and one is aggressive. He's in operations, he's in business. So they could not align, and things just started getting scattered. Now, even banks started doing reevaluation for the business, and within 18 months, the company had lost nearly 30% of its value. This is a real story. And the family was completely shattered. And this is what happens when succession is not planned and we think there is no time, not the right time. Why this happens? Because succession is just assumed. There is no plan. The founder did not take the opportunity to develop both the kids and create a healthy competition and prepare one of them with a formal announcement who is going to be the successor. Now, this is where the entire business conflict happens. What you built over your lifetime, you work 20 hours, 24 hours, and beyond, nurture this business, take it leaps and bounds from uh, a startup to a 1,000 crore company, or a 500 crore company, or a 2,000 crore company. And one day, everything is gone, buried under the water. Is this what you really built it for? Are you working so hard for this? I would like to ask you this question. No need to answer, but start thinking about this. Is this what you're working for? So, what really happens when we delay? The business valuations, they are dropping. Your disengaged teams, they will leave. They will start having fear of future, uncertainty. Career is at risk, so they would not want to stay back, or their performance will be mediocre, because they also want to look for their next leader after them. And your next level leadership in the organization also needs to feel safe within the system. If I stay back, what about me? How will I grow in the organization? So this is a bigger question that unknowingly we don't, as founders, as owners, we don't notice, but it is already there into your organization level 2, -1, -2, -3. They're already thinking about it. If you are 50 plus, so you really need to start planning after 40. It's very, very, very important. And then the politics that's there with the families, and others outsiders will start taking advantage of the situations. So this is one story, but if I look at the other side, this is a story from my first job, the organization that I worked. I started my career 25 years ago. It is Bombay based organization in Nariman Point, Mithil Towers on the 9th floor. And I still remember, as a business owner, he kept telling me, my children are not interested in business. And this is the same story I heard from my clients as well. They kept saying, so I work with a lot of CEOs, CXOs, multinationals, politicians, judges, bureaucrats, startups, professionals, artists. I do coaching for diversified professionals. So many of my business clients as well, they do tell me, that, hey, Vandana, you know what? My children are not interested in the business. Somebody just mentioned in this group as well a few minutes ago that the next generation is not interested. They just don't want to come in the business. And I have built this business with my life's work. How can I hand it over to an outsider? What should I do in this situation? And they kept waiting and waiting that I will find one day somebody will come in my eye, and then we will see whether I choose him or not. Not choosing anyone, not preparing anyone, just continuing, just doesn't work. And in silence, in hope that someday something will change, the truth doesn't change, your situation doesn't change. Nothing is closing without your choices, and not choosing is also a choice that you have made. Not making decision is also a decision that you have made. Not trusting on your next level leadership that somebody can be recognized, maybe a couple of them could be, I can start developing them, get a professional and start developing them and see who is the right one, who can beg that position for me, who can be the successor. Now, keeping that also on a hold or just thinking about it at the back of your mind is also a choice that you're making. So these are your choices. Not doing is also a choice. And unfortunately, it often becomes a costliest affair in your life. Your organization, your future, this is like your brainchild, and your child is at future stake. It will get on a ventilator someday. So that's unexpected things that will happen, and all we will have is just the burnout. So any thoughts anybody would like to share in this moment? One person can speak, unmute and speak about it. Anybody? We have 10 seconds to speak. Did I puzzle you all so much?
Yeah. Hello.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
Nilesh.
Yes. I think the succession plan can be a combination of the successor and the part of pillars of the employees who have been there with you for more than 10 years.
Not necessary. Why 10
It
years?
can it can be because people who have worked with you for a long time, they know the working style of the company, they know how the company operates, they know the nitty-gritties of the way it is being done, and the new successor who comes in definitely needs to be trained. But at the end of the day, uh, the person who have worked knows the culture of the company as well.
So, don't we think 10 years is a very long time? Everything can change. Maybe the successor you are thinking may quit the job and move somewhere else as well.
No. I think you are mistaken.
Okay.
The successor, suppose if I am talking of my son as the successor,
Ah,
who is a
okay.
newcomer
From the family. Yes.
from the family.
Okay. Okay.
And
Within the system. Yes.
but 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 the people who are
Mm-hmm.
co-successors, who are going to run the company,
Mm-hmm.
have been there in the company for a long time. They
Yeah.
can be also part of the profit sharing of the company, so that the company runs the same way as it is before.
Absolutely. But I will differ from this choice of having 10 years time to be in the business. Reason being, once you decide in your head, you make a choice, my son is going to be my successor. You need to start creating a plan and a roadmap and look at your sons or the next successor from your family, whoever is the next uh, founders, next generation who is going to take over this business, needs to be identified where he is today. And then you start developing, could take 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. But somewhere you need to start, and not necessary, the person has to be already there in the system. It
No,
is
no, no.
not important
So the
that your son needs to be in the business for 10
successor is a
years.
newcomer, but
Mhm.
people who will support are the key people who have been there in the system for a long time. That's what I'm trying to convey.
Oh, yes, absolutely. They should be there in the system for a long time. And these are the supporting people that you're saying who will support him to
Yes.
groom
Yes.
himself and develop. We will come to that strategy part, how it should be done, the foundation, and how we should go about it, the framework. So, what does succession plan look like? Is it a retirement? Does anybody think that I am going to retire and I just don't want to give away my retirement and my power and my control and my hold from the business? So this is one of the biggest underlining unknown threat that a business owner feels, to let go. It's just like letting go. It's like handing over from my hand to somebody else's hand. So we feel that it is, I'm going to retire. It looks like I'm going to retire from this business. So everything is just going away from my hands. What I built from scratch is no more going to be mine. It is going to be somebody else's. So this is something which is the fear, the limitation, the ego, the emotional part, uh, all of it put together. The 5 blocks that we saw were will be playing together a cumulative ball in your life, which will be creating the action for you. And this is how you see succession plan as. Whereas in reality, it is not a retirement. It is giving in your life's work to somebody who is going to take it to the next level. And you will enjoy supporting as an advisor, being in a chair with the successor till you want to continue working, and enjoy seeing the growth with the new generation, new brain, new head, new way of thinking, new way of doing, new life, new patterns, new people skills, new strategies, new innovations, the complete new education that they bring along with them on table, all of it put together is what succession plan looks like. So what are the foundations for planning? Choosing someone and preparing someone. Now, it could be from inside the organization, inside your family, or it could be somebody from outside. Somebody speaking, Nilesh? Okay.
Sapanda, please mute yourself. Thank you.
Okay. So choosing someone and preparing someone. So choosing someone is from your family member who is going to be the next successor. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 kids, not your own kids, maybe your immediate first line family, second level family, your relatives, their kids, who's going to be there from outside. If not, who can be the successor that I can identify, who I can prepare from within the system if I don't have my kids who wants to join, or I don't have kids, or I don't have immediate relatives. So this is where we start preparing. So there are 3 most important foundations. The first one is vision. What's the long-term direction for your business? As a business entrepreneur, you need to start thinking about your vision, your own vision, that you need to download it to the next generation or your successor. What's the long-term direction for your business that you are planning? After you, what next? Where the business needs to go? How it needs to look like? How it needs to scale up? So your vision has to be very clear. That's number one. That's the foundation. Number two is people. Who is ready? Who needs grooming? Whether from inside, outside, as I mentioned earlier. So identify who is ready and who needs grooming. Number three, it's timeline. When and how will transition happen? So it is not necessary the transition or the succession has to happen tomorrow itself, but we need to announce it. We need to let the successor know, and we need to, that's a later part. But before that, when I'm talking about timeline, when people are identified, when they will get the succession announced and how this transition will happen, you need to create a paperwork and a roadmap for your understanding for yourself and nobody else. That's your clarity in your head that you need to get. So there are three foundations, I reiterate, which is vision, people, and timeline, that you need to keep in mind for succession. Now, here is, let's answer in the chat box quickly. Do you currently have someone who could lead the business in your absence? Yes or no? We have 10 seconds quickly. No, not yet. No, no, yes, no, yes. A team, yes. One individual, no. Okay. Interesting. Anybody else would like to answer in the chat box? Shall we progress? Okay, so I'll ask the next question. It's a food for thought at the moment for you. Have you formally communicated this plan to them? Anybody who said yes, they have somebody or they have a team, have you formally communicated any plan to them? Please answer in the chat box. No, no. A team, yes. I'm looking for someone to take over and run it, as my sons are not interested. Rajiv says yes. Welcome, Rajiv. Good to see you. Biren, no. NK Mehta says from ISODA, also fine. Interesting. Please nominate yourself to NK Mehta. Okay, so let's move. So how do I begin today? Is my next question. I don't have answers. Would you like to know how to begin today? I don't have a family successor yet, and I don't want to immediately bring someone from outside as well. So then in that situation, what do I do? Because I don't want to plan it immediately, right? So what do we do about it? 3 pointers. Very important, you build an internal leadership bench. They will take care of the business when even you want to go for a short trip, you are away, some uncertainty happens, at least there is a leadership bench which is ready. Set up a governance layer, a circle of trust and advisory board. Very important, again, because this layer will create a foundation of values in the system, in the organization. A circle of trust is very, very important. And as advisory board is a place where when employees, people, they feel cluttered, they feel uncertain, they are in doubt, they are not able to make any decisions or choices, they have an advisory board they can walk up to. It's a very, very helpful space that is created for the organization employees. Design a continuity plan. It's most important foundation that is required. If you don't want to begin today, These three things are very, very important and crucial pointers to create for yourself, at least till the time you announce, you start thinking, planning for the successor, or you want to find it, you are not able to find the right person. Okay. Now, what is the framework? Let's go step by step. Make key roles in the organization. You need to map which are the most important and crucial roles in the organization without which your business will have difficulties to function. So map those, you assess those roles' readiness. You assess your immediate next line and the following line, those two layers readiness in the organization. You define the timeline if they are not ready, how and when you want to create them and develop them to be ready to run and function. And engage a professional to create that successor. And please mind it, succession is not for my successor alone. It is very important to understand that succession is also for my immediate next in line leadership team, because they also will have to shape up somewhere, sometime, and we need to have their successors as well in place, because those are most upper two layers are the most crucial business people lines. So let's start SMART, a 4-stage succession readiness path. Stage 1, have clarity in your thought process, in your succession planning. So diagnose before you decide. What diagnose we need to do? We need to assess the risk and dependencies, and we understand where your business stands and what risk you face if nothing changes. So if nothing changes today, what is the risk your business is going to face? Out of those 3 stories that I shared with you, there would be a lot more stories. It could be a failed succession planning as well. I'm sure you have heard of Gautam Singhania and the Raymond Group. His father planned and created a successor, which is Gautam Singhania. And now what is the situation today? We all know. So that could be also one situation which we need to keep in mind. Succession needs to be thoroughly planned, strategized, actioned, and executed. So having a clarity is the very first stage to diagnose before you make a decision, and make sure no decision is made in emotions, because driven in emotion, those choices in those moments can be dangerous. So assess the risk and dependencies, understand where your business stands today, and what are the risks you face if nothing changes. You do the assessment with business continuity assessment, leadership dependency mapping, role criticality audit, and family readiness reflection. So reflect whether your family is ready about this, whether if it is your immediate he was thrown out. Yes, yes, absolutely. So you see how the situation can turn out if you don't have the right succession planning done in the right moment, in the right time, in the right manner, without keeping emotions aside and being logical and well balanced in making your choices. So have a lot of clarity. These are the business side of clarity. I'm adding towards the emotional side of clarity as well. Okay, so what is the next second stage? It is alignment. Identify potential and build trust. Trust is a foundation for any relationship. And alignment is very, very important and crucial in any business, especially when we are going to hand over the business to somebody else who is going to be who will be becoming the next king. So recognize the potential successors. It may be one, it may be 2 or 3 that you want to recognize, build them and create one out of that. So I'll give an example. In large organizations, large corporates, 2 of my immediate clients that I can tell you in last 3 years, the projects that I worked on, you would have heard of Ingram Micro. The current managing director is Mr. Bindra, and he also underwent the coaching engagement. And that was a time when, the organizations like this, they have 3 to 4 Some companies have 2, some companies have 3, some companies have 4. So they identify 2, 3, 4 people for the succession to be on that role of CEO, MD, the chairman's immediate successor, the promoter's immediate successor, becoming the founder. They put them under the development plan for about 12 months. And then one of them who towards the end gets the complete transformation and transition and shows his readiness will be the person sitting on that position. Not all 3 of them, but it is a healthy competition that you create. So everybody is aiming at one ultimate goal and everybody is chasing that goal. So it is like, marathon, everybody is running and chasing to complete those kilometers which are defined, and the healthiest person, the best person, the most developed person reaches to the goal endpoint, the line fastest, and that's the person who's the winner. Something very similar happened with Star Union Daiichi Sud Life, Mr. Abhishek Tiwari. So Mr. Tiwari also underwent a very similar succession coaching, and today he got that position amongst the others. So there are so many such organizations. I can give you examples where professionals, they develop these successors and the roadmap is created. So alignment is very important. You need to do stakeholders interview. It will be your families, your senior leaders in the organization, and all those identified important key role responsible people. You need to interview them, understand their aspects of the succession as well, their current business situation, how they look at the situation, people, and the business. What is their vision and how do they see the future? So take the holistic approach and take the interview, gather the data. Values alignment exercises is very important, because how you built your organization over last 10, 20, 30, 40 years, you have built it with your values, you have nurtured it with your values. It could be commitment, it could be dedication, it could be honesty, customer first, and so on and so forth. So values alignment exercise is very, very important. We see the gaps and then we need to bridge those gaps. Which are the missing values? We need to start empowering and elevating those values into the system, in the organization, and also into the successors and leadership potential checklist. What are their potentials in the current situation where they are? Roles shadowing trials needs to be done, so that you understand how the person in that role responsibility who's seated in that position, how is he performing in that position, in that role? Is he really doing justice to the position, the role, responsibility that he is given? So that is alignment and building trust. Number 3, development. Now here comes, we have gathered data. Now we need to go to the development part. So, you have internal mentor, outside mentor, a professional coach, and yourself with your lot of experience, and start preparing, develop. Actively grooming the successor for strategic, emotional, and operational readiness is very, very, very important. It's very crucial. I have the data, but what do I do with this data? It will really help in understanding where the gaps are, and then I start bridging those gaps. And that's where the failure uh, uh, will be completely, sorry, I got distracted with the question. I'll answer, Rajiv. Allow me to complete this. Your professional executive coaching, development for successor, business acumen, and decision-making projects, communication and influence training. So these are very important areas and soft skills that needs to be elevated and developed, because when you are on a leadership position and you are at the top of the pyramid, you really enter organization not only from internal side, even from the outside, your customers, your vendors, your business, your family, everybody is looking at you and you are at the top, and it's a complete silos position. So you need to develop the person with communication, with influence, a lot of those soft skills. Emotional intelligence elevation is par excellence requirement, because if you are not emotionally intelligent, your people will start feeling threatened, because they are used to working with you, and the new leader who's come in is not emotionally elevated, and they are not used to handling those emotional outbursts and behavioral shifts. So there has to be a smooth transition with a lot of emotional development is required. Mentor-mentee reviews that happens between founder successor. These things are periodical, and they are very, very important and crucial to happen. The question that Rajiv is asking is, how do you ensure a succession race of three people ensures things are still professional and politics and lobbying doesn't start, and all three are performing to a certain KRA properly? Because most KRAs may overlap. It is identified and it is well told to communicate it to all the three successors. So whether there are two, three, or four, all these successors are well communicated. When I do this coaching engagement, I'm told to interview these coaches, my clients. We call them coaches, so mentees or coaches. We have to interview them. We do chemistry calls. We have chemistry meetings. We do a lot of assessments. We do all these exercises which are mentioned, and these are the times when organization has already communicated that these are the three people who are undergoing this a developmental plan for over 18 months, 15 months, 12 months, depends from organization to organization. And one of them will take over the position, which is this. So you need to work with this professional, and you need to also work with me as your mentee, and there will be an advisory board as well. So it's a very professional way of communication that happens in this entire process. Organization does not know these three are the successors. So there is no politics that happens there, because it's a very confidential assignment that undergoes. Within the organization, other than these two, three, four people, nobody else knows about it. And HR knows, or stakeholders, they know about it. And whenever people see that there's somebody who's coming, walking into the organization and developing them, or there is a closed door meetings or developmental plans that's happening, or the professional is doing shadowing with the mentee or the coachee to see whether how is he performing, how is he talking to the vendors, holding the meetings, downloading or translating the requirements or business requirements to his team members, all those day-to-day transactions, his analysis, communication skills, emailing skills, all of it, micromanagement, everything gets monitored by the mentee or the coach. So shadowing does happen on a periodical, timely manner, and lobbying does not happen because nobody else knows. And all three of them, it is a very healthy way of promoting one person, and all three of them getting an opportunity to develop themselves. And whether they are there at the position towards the end, one of them will reach there, the rest two will not reach there, because it's definitely race, only one person is going to win. So it is well understood, nobody gets a heartburn, but the coach, it is a responsibility of the coach. The way the hand holding coaching happens, the entire transition process happens, you are such emotionally elevated, your empathy, your relationships, your cognitive level, your understanding of yourself and others is translated and developed to a level where you start looking at even the person who is going to win that situation, that position, you are absolutely comfortable to report to him and work together as a team. And that's what a shift in your perspective, into your mindset, a team working model, putting others ahead of you, because that's what a leader needs to do. It is not me anymore. So there are such hidden, deeper soft skills that a coach works on. So I hope, Rajiv, I've answered your question. No politics. Performance is certain, KRAs, everything gets measured. And towards the end, we know who is begging with the position, because we get the feedback, and there are soft skills, there are behavioral shifts that happens in individuals, and we are able to measure it by observing it, because it's a soft skill. It will not be measured on paper with any assessments. So I hope I'm clear on this. If any more questions, please type it in your chat box. So the next one, fourth stage, transfer. Now they've got developed. We got clarity, we got data, we got the developmental plan that we put in. Now there is a transfer that needs to happen. It can happen at any phase, any time. And it is a phase-wise handover that needs to happen. We need to preserve the legacy. We need to ensure a very smooth and non-destructive transition that needs to happen while preserving the founder's legacy. A founder plays a major role, crucial role during this entire period with the professional, where the value systems are intact. There is a beautiful blend of old generation, new generation, the old way of working, the new way of working, the old minds, the new minds, the old values, the new values. Everything gets beautifully synchronized, and the outcome is something which is evolved and much matured, and it will be aligning with the founder as well as the successor. So it's very well balanced. So what activities do we do in this case? We define the timelines, we and the transition milestones. How are we going to transition phase wise with the time? Communicate role shifts internally. So there will be a lot of internal shift also. We'll need to take care with the leadership teams, and the communication also needs to happen accordingly. Co-leadership periods, dual authority. So there will be times when there will be dual responsibilities that will be given, so that the transition and the learning happens in a smooth phase-wise manner, and transition can go absolutely smooth. Governance framework setup and advisory board, which is very important, because uh, no matter you have given 1 year, 2 year, 3 years time frame for these coachee, the successor, to be developed and the transition is happening. However, it's very important to have these entire frameworks set up with the advisory board, who will be time and again monitoring, observing the organization, the system, the people, the processes, the transition that's happening. So it's a 360-degree work that happens, and they need to advise on wherever they see their important inputs are required to be given. So this is the way a 4-stage succession readiness path is to be developed and created. Those who have not yet planned, please start planning, because times are quite uncertain. We really don't know how life can unfold for us. We might be talking today and we don't know what our tomorrow would look like. So succession doesn't begin with a decision, but it begins with a conversation. So please start mapping yourself, map where you stand and where you go next. This is a little bit from my side. Please unmute yourself and ask questions. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. How much time do we have now? Please unmute yourself and you can ask questions. I can't hear. Okay, Kailash.
I just wanted to ask, you see there are, the companies are in various formats nowadays. It could be proprietorship, it could be partnership, LLP, or private limited or limited.
Yes.
Now, does the succession depends on what type of company you are, or not?
Absolutely not. Business has to run, function the same manner it is. So let's say it is an LLP company. You will require directors in the organization. Minimum 2
That's
directors
also
are
there is a
required.
catch there. There is a catch there that in case of LLPs or private limited, you can have directors not necessarily from your family.
Absolutely. So you need to develop somebody who will be a director after you.
Yes.
You can introduce in case of LLP, let me answer this question. In case of LLP, you have 2 directors which are mandatory minimum required. So let's say today you and your partner, 2 people are there. You have a son. Your partner also may have somebody who will carry forward his legacy. You both need to discuss it internally, and you need to plan who will be the next who will be introduced as directors. So they can start preparing themselves. You can give them their directorship rights You can, board can pass a resolution and give them limited rights to begin with. And after you, at least they can get the full rights.
So in this case, it will not be succession planning. It will be addition of,
But they need, no. It will be a succession planning. It will be just a title or a label will be succession, not a succession, but a director. But it will be certainly a succession planning after you, they are going to take over the business. So aren't they your successor? It's just that he will not be called as managing director, founder, or the CEO. He will be called as a designated partner or a director.
okay. Thank you.
He needs to know the business. He needs to know the nitty-gritties. People need to start accepting him as the leader. So it is a beautiful transition that we need to plan it so that your successor is at least the acceptance level for the successor, his readiness is there.
But in this case, sorry to repeat add questions to it, but in this case, it will also, a consensus will be required with the other directors and
Absolutely.
before planning a
Absolutely.
succession.
Absolutely. That's what I mentioned. You and your other partners, other directors need to discuss it internally. You also have your successor, they would also have their successor, right?
Not necessarily, they may not plan simultaneously. There could be successor later on.
That's okay. So maybe whoever is ready can at least start their planning.
Yeah.
So you need to mutually discuss and come to an agreement. How this is my thought process. This is how I want to bring in my successor after me. And how about you? What are your thought processes on this? Have you considered this? I am planning to develop my son or XYZ to take over my legacy after me. So this is my roadmap and my plan. So what we discussed earlier, you need to create your foundation and those answers you need to create for yourself, the previous slide that we discussed. So once you are ready, you need to formally then discuss it with your partners.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Anybody would want to ask any questions? Can we open the unmute ourselves and start interacting on this? We have maybe I think 1 or 2 questions we can take.
Biren bhai?
बोलिए जी.
Thank you, Kailash, for being great audience. I really appreciate this. Yes, Mimesh.
No, I'm just asking. I'm provoking members to if they've got any questions. Biren bhai has got a fantastic successor and team. So I'm sure Biren bhai must have definitely benefited with this session.
Of course. That is why we attend, right? To benefit.
Yes,
Knowledge is
exactly.
always useful. Knowledge from experts who have been there, done that. It is always useful. And that is why I wish more people would have attended the session. She
Yes,
is
yes,
very
Biren bhai.
valuable. The point is that I think it's very important what one of the takeaways for me from this session is that you don't have to communicate the decision. You have to start the conversation. I think that is a fabulous statement. I thank you so much, Vanna, for that, because I think I'll do that.
Yes.
And more importantly, we have got at least 17 Gen Zs in ISODA, where both the new generation have just joined and are with their first generation business together. So they both are both of them are members at ISODA. So this session for them would have been fantastically helpful for them. But definitely yes, Biren bhai, please put it onto the social media of our WhatsApp group so that people can at least see the recording and get the benefit done.
Sure.
Thank
We'll
you,
do that.
Biren bhai.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you,
Prashant,
sir.
you have quite
I also want to make another small point. The session is, obviously limited in scope, but this assumption that it is always going to be your son who will be the successor, I think is a flawed assumption. And I would advise my fellow ISODA members here not to go with that kind of mindset. It is not necessary. It may not be in the best interest either of your son or of the organization.
True.
And this is only in case where the son or the daughter is actually into the business. Where they are not coming into the business, the problem is already solved actually. They are lucky. But if your son or daughter is coming into your business and therefore you think that it must be handed over to them, I think that's a flawed thinking. I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll just add one piece here, Mr. Biren. Thank you so much for that thought. You should create a healthy competition with your son and your daughter, whoever is there in the business, and the successor that you have in mind or you feel is competent and capable enough. Create a healthy developmental plan for them. You never know who's going to surprise whom. And
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, all three of them, four of them, five of them, whatever number you decide, they will have their development done. At least
Yes,
they will start thinking, acting, behaving like a founder, like the owner. Your sense of accountability, ownerships begins from there.
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think it's time to close down this. Vinod, should I do this with your permission? Because you had opened the session.
Yeah, please go ahead, Vimesh. Yeah.
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 So, Vandana, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Really speaking, let me tell you the truth that before this session, the succession means what I had thought of what is succession. You have completely changed it with your what is it, sharing your knowledge and everything. Definitely, I am now. There are a lot of things running in my mind in between the sessions. I'll be also coming to you one to one and talking to you on that. But there are a lot of different perspective now. We all can look into about the succession. In between, few of Nilesh Kuwadi also shared a different way of succession by involving your employees also as a succession. Nilesh, that was a one very much fantastic share, and I think you are practicing that very successfully. That is the reason why you shared this. So
Yes.
thanks, Nilesh, for bringing it to that.
So I believe that delegation along with mentoring can really help a good success.
Yes, Nilesh.
Yeah.
So, Vanna, thank you very much. I would love if you can share your presentation. If it is if it is open, means if you are sharing so that members can use it as a PPT. We will be anyway having this session on our YouTube channel for the members view, and also sharing the recording links to you also, so you also can share it ahead. Thank you very much, Vandana. We look forward for more such sessions from you going ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
wonderful participants. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Vandana.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for listening. You have a good day. Thank you.
Samina, you can stop the recording and log off. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.